The Israel-Hamas conflict is still ongoing with no signs of stopping.
Blood drives are in dire need of more donations.
And a new alert for missing kids is being developed.
Broadcasting live from the University of North Texas, this is ntTV News at Noon.
Good afternoon, and thank you for watching ntTV News at Noon. I'm Chris Goodwin.
And I'm Kayla Bumpus.
Israel persisted with deadly airstrikes in Gaza on Tuesday, displacing over 100,000 and straining hospitals. This followed the Hamas threat to execute civilian hostages if Gaza faced sudden airstrikes. Israeli leaders show no signs of easing the intensity of their operations. CNN reporter Reed Binnen has more.
We have begun, and I emphasize we have only begun to strike at Hamas.
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu vowing that military retaliation on Gaza will only intensify after Hamas's brutal terror attacks in Israel.
The images of the devastation and destruction from the Hamas strongholds in Gaza are just the beginning.
Hundreds of Palestinians have been killed after hundreds of Israelis were killed and kidnapped in Hamas's surprise weekend incursion and bloody assault.
Nothing can justify pulling innocent children from their homes, murdering them, dragging them through the streets.
New York Mayor Eric Adams joining political leaders from across the U.S. from both parties in condemning the Hamas attacks and pledging to stand with Israel.
We will see once again the steadfast resolve of the people of this state and this nation to stand alongside the Jewish people and the nation of Israel.
We stand with Israel.
Those pledges of support coming as Hamas threatens to broadcast the executions of hostages if Israel targets people in Gaza without warning. I'm Reed Binion reporting.
Overnight airstrikes relentlessly targeted 200 more locations, bringing the total Palestinian casualties to almost 700 on Saturday. President Biden has expressed concern about Hamas' claims of holding over 100 hostages, with more Americans potentially being captured. He is scheduled to address the situation later today. The conflicts claimed the lives of over 1,500, with 11 of those being Americans.
Classified documents were found in President Joe Biden's home this past Thursday. Biden was interviewed late Monday, and it is possible that the investigation against him is coming to a close. He has stated that he was unaware of the documents. No evidence has been found to suggest that Biden willfully held onto records he was not supposed to have.
Monday evening, a hydrogen balloon crashed into a power line structure nearby Crandall, Texas. Both people on board the balloon sustained minor injuries and are now in good, stable condition. Witnesses believe to have seen an attempted landing with descended airbags prior to hitting the power lines. Power has now been restored thanks to the crews on the scene.
A Louisiana high school principal has asked for a leave of absence for the rest of the year following backlash. He punished a student for dancing at an off-campus party, which was deemed inappropriate. Bess Casserly has more.
This video of a high school after party has put Walker High School in the national spotlight and has now prompted the school's principal to take a leave of absence.
If y'all didn't see the video, I was not the one twerking in it. I was just behind my friend.
Senior Kaylee Timoney, seen here, lost her spot on student government and had a scholarship endorsement revoked after Principal Jason St. Pierre saw the video. The move caused outrage across Livingston Parish, and hundreds of students and Walker residents rallied behind Timoney, wearing Let Her Dance t-shirts to Friday's football game. Eventually, the pressure caused St. Pierre to issue an apology on Facebook Sunday evening. Timoney responded with a tearful video on TikTok, rejecting the apology and calling parts of it untruthful.
And I know there's a lot of people that don't know me, and I saw things saying like, how do we know she's actually a good person, all this stuff. You don't have to believe me, but please just have my back. Like, I just need support in this situation.
On Monday, that support came by the hundreds when as many as 200 students walked out of Walker High to protest her treatment.
Basically that we support each other and that what he did was unfair and you shouldn't do that.
That we'll always stand up for what's right.
Savannah Bergen and her friends say what St. Pierre did was not okay.
Yeah, he ruined a whole girl's life that worked since her freshman year to get what she had.
And on Monday, just hours after that apology post, Livingston Parish Schools sent out this email saying Walker High School principal Jason St. Pierre has requested to take a leave for the remainder of the 2023-2024 school year. Whether that leave will become permanent remains to be seen. The school system did not answer any other questions Monday.
The mother said that administrators were in the wrong for punishing her daughter and that the apology was too little, too late.
Kayla, I have been feeling like I'm on a roller coaster with this Texas weather lately. Like 1 minute it's cool and the next moment it's just back to being hot. Like I can't keep up. I can't keep up with my wardrobe.
I know exactly what you mean, Chris. Rolling out of bed this morning, I changed my outfit at least 3 times today. Looks like our weather anchor, Sebastian Nava, not only knows how to dress sharp, but also how to dress for the weather. Maybe he can help us figure out what to wear. Sebastian.
Thanks, Chris and Kayla. So currently right now it is 78 degrees outside, but with the sun now it's going to feel more like 83 degrees, but we do have a nice little 3-mile-an-hour breeze just to help keep us cool throughout the day. But that's all going to change as we go towards tonight's conditions. We can see it's going to be 67 degrees on paper, but with a 13-mile-an-hour wind, it's going to drop that temperature down to 65. But at least you have a nice little moon outside, so at least you can go outside and take a look at that. So we're going to take a look ahead towards tomorrow's conditions, and it's going to be 84 degrees on paper. 83 is what it's going to feel like because we're going to have a 16-mile-an-hour wind. So it's going to be a nice little fall Wednesday, but with the sun out, so it's going to keep you warm. So you don't have to worry too much about y'all's wardrobe because I think y'all look good in anything y'all wear. So back to y'all at the desk.
Thanks for that, Sebastian. Denton authorities are still on the hunt for the driver of an 18-wheeler that was involved in a fatal hit and run last month. The incident happened along the northbound lane of Interstate 35 Service Road and West University Drive on September 24th. There was a victim, a 6-year-old male, who was taken to a local hospital but passed away due to his injuries, unfortunately. The Denton Police Department has provided information about the 18-wheeler that was involved and is urging anyone with information to come forward and aid in the investigation.
Find out more about the blood shortage later in the show.
A solar eclipse is coming. Find out when after the break.
Did you know you have access to video equipment like DVDs, video games, and cameras? That's right, you do. Come on down to Chilton Library and fulfill your media dream. Located on the bottom floor next to the student sculpture. Hope to see you there soon. Hey girl, you know you look good. I like the way you move and groove. I'm not sure.
Thanks for sticking with us. The American Red Cross is pleading with schools to bring back blood drives. This cry for help comes after the ARC announced that the U.S. blood supply is dangerously low. Donations are reported to have decreased by almost 25% since August, and the ARC says that the drop is due to high schools and colleges not hosting as many blood drives as they used to. This decrease is more drastic than the decrease in blood supply during the pandemic, with only 10% of blood being provided from schools. The strains on the blood supply come from many weather crises in the recent years and the high influx of traveling. Experts are hopeful that schools are going to be cooperating with them to get the national blood supply back to a healthy level to help with the constant demand for blood in high schools. Kayla, I see you're wearing your cardigan today. With the weather this morning, I can't blame you.
I know, Chris. It got really chilly really fast. I'm just hoping this autumn weather is here to stay. Let's hear from our weather anchor, Sebastian Nava, to see if we can expect more fall weather this week. Sebastian?
Thanks, Chris and Kayla. So, as much as we would like to hope for that autumn weather, at least in my opinion, I think we're still closer towards the end of summer weather, but at least we're back in the 70s, as you can tell, all around the North Texas area. You see 78 all around, mid 70s, high 70s all around the area. So at least we have that little temperature going for us. Now we're going to take a look ahead towards the rest of the state. As you can see, it is 78 up here in the North Texas area, 72 down in Austin. As we can see out here, it's 75 in Houston. So like I said, much like us, we're going to be in the 70s as throughout the state and the entire region. Now we're going to take a look ahead towards our 7-day forecast. And you were hoping for, that autumn weather is finally here, Kayla. So that's good news for everybody. It's going to be 75 towards the early next week, but at least if you look at the lows, it's going to be high 60s, and we're going to be entering the 50s and 40s. So it's going to be nice, cold autumn weather. So that's something we can all look forward to. That's all I have for this full look at weather. Back to y'all at the desk.
Thanks, Sebastian. I'm happy to hear about that fall weather. Law enforcement agencies need every tool it can get to locate missing kids. And while Amber Alerts are the common tool for that task, there are often racial disparities when it comes to how well those alerts are used to help minority communities. A newly introduced alert in California may help that. Marley Ginter reports.
California now has a new tool to help find missing Black youth. Amber Alerts have been around for 2 decades, and since that time, more than 370 children and at-risk individuals have been located.
Time is of the essence when it comes to an actual alert.
But some critics say African Americans are often overlooked by the notification system.
You see the difference of when white girls go missing and black girls go missing. The sense of urgency is not there.
African Americans, whether they're children or young adults, are often listed as runaways.
State Senator Stephen Bradford is the author of a new law that creates Ebony Alerts for a community disproportionately impacted by missing youth.
African American young individuals make up almost 40% of those individuals who come up missing.
It's going to put significant change in how we react.
Barry Axios with Voice of the Youth says many young women who vanish end up being victims of sex trafficking.
Here in Sacramento, especially, a lot of our girls get exploited.
In addition to Amber Alerts, California also has Blue Alerts for suspects who attack a law enforcement officer, Silver Alerts for missing seniors and people with disabilities, and Feather Alerts for missing Indigenous people. So how is an Ebony Alert different?
Expanding the age from 12 to 25, because right now, an Amber Alert is for 17 years or younger.
Black youth considered at risk or with mental or physical challenges will qualify.
With this, the attention, the need, the urgency, I feel will be met, and it's going to be a game changer.
This Saturday, everyone in the U.S. will have an opportunity to view a rare cosmic event. Our segment anchor, Kayla Alley, has more to say on this topic.
Thank you, Chris. Yes, this Saturday, October 14th, the U.S. will be able to catch a rare annular solar eclipse. An annular solar eclipse occurs when the moon passes between the Earth and the sun, blocking out most but not quite all of the sun's light, leaving what is called a ring of fire. The annular solar eclipse can be viewed in parts of the U.S., Mexico, and in South and Central America. NASA says people across the U.S. should see at least a partial solar eclipse. What is exciting about this eclipse is that it is rarely visible. NASA states that the next annular solar eclipse that will be visible for people in the U.S. will be June 21st, 2039, 16 years from now. The annular solar eclipse will begin in Oregon at 11:13 a.m. local time, pass through California. If you're planning on viewing the solar eclipse, it is essential that you prepare and use eclipse glasses. Although most of the sun's light is blocked, you must remember that you are still looking directly at the sun. You are at risk of severe eye damage or blindness. To safely observe the eclipse. Back to you guys at the desk.
Find out how inflation is affecting Halloween this year.
And see how a sorority is raising awareness for mental health.
All right, look up here. 1, 2, 3.
Mom, Dad, I got it.
right, Mom. I have.
Welcome back. Trick-or-treaters may experience an extra scare this Halloween. A new survey is suggesting that there may be less candy this year due to inflation. Researchers at the sales and marketing group Advantage Solutions surveyed over 1,000 adults. 40% said that inflation will impact their plans to buy candy. Among that group, half said that they plan on spending the same amount as last year, but will be buying less. Roughly 30% said that they'd be spending less and buying less. It isn't just inflation that's driving up prices for consumers. Producers say that a tight sugar supply will be driving up the cost of candy as well and cutting into the production of the goods.
I am so excited to share how I found out how a sorority here on campus is doing their part to raise awareness on mental health and end the stigma in some pretty fun ways.
The JED Foundation is a nonprofit organization that works to equip schools and students struggling with mental health around the nation. It was started by two parents who lost their son struggling with mental health, and they now work really hard to end the stigma and start conversations for our current team. So a few years ago, some Kappas spoke up about wanting to reconnect to a new philanthropy. So nationally, Kappa Kappa Gamma as an organization changed their philanthropy to support mental health and well-being. And we as a chapter here at UNT got to vote to support the JED Foundation. Kappa and the JED Foundation both really value supporting the community, ending the stigma around mental health, and showing love for our teens and young adults around us.
The money that we raise during Philanthropy Week will be split up in 3 different ways and sent to 3 different organizations. The first chunk of money will be allocated towards the Kappa Kappa Gamma Foundation that provides members and alum with financial support and those in need. Another chunk will be sent to JED Foundation, which supports mental health and well-being or philanthropy. A smaller portion goes to a local charity, and our executive board this past year has voted on to support Friends. This Mental Health Week, Kappa is so happy to announce that we made over $8,000.
As the philanthropy director, it is my job to educate the chapter on our philanthropy and ways to support each other as well as the community. This semester, Kappa raised money for the JED Foundation by their annual Mental Health Week. During the week, we had events such as Matches for Mental Health, which was a tennis tournament. We had a dunk tank, we had a give back night, and we also had events such as Kappa Cappuccino. Thank you so much to everyone who participated during our Mental Health Week.
We're so excited to donate the money to the JED Foundation to continue supporting mental health and well-being.
See y'all next year.
An Arizona elementary running club recently did a 5K to encourage their classmate who is battling brain cancer. A 9-year-old, Michael Carraza, was diagnosed with a rare form of brain cancer called CNS neuroblastoma at just 3 years old. Michael's mom says that the past 6 years have been filled with hope and heartbreak. Michael has been homeschooled and all of his life. Now he has been welcomed into the school with open arms. The runners got medals at the end and said that they would give their medals to Michael because he's been fighting.
A World War II veteran from Ohio recently turned 100 years old, and he is a devoted Cincinnati Bengals fan. His birthday wish is for the Bengals to win despite their current season struggles. But another veteran is hoping to make a bigger birthday wish come true and aims to introduce some of the players to this decorated fan. CNN reporter Madeline Ottilie reports.
They play pretty good defense.
Almost 2,000 miles away from the action, Gordon Hare homed in on a Bengals win.
I suffer every time they lose.
Gordon watches every game at his veterans home in Georgetown, Ohio.
They tell me I'm 100 now. You are 100.
Keeping himself busy with family, bingo, and Bengals.
I take it too seriously, but I like to see him win.
It's a simple pleasure for someone who, about 8 decades ago, was thrust into combat in World War II.
I have nightmares still. I have 2 friends that were killed. Yeah, that kind of got to me. I was always lucky, I guess.
Paul Brown, who shares a name with the Bengals founder, is a veteran too. When he heard about Gordon, he knew he had to meet him.
It took him 70 years to get his medals. You know, some of the stuff he had to do in World War II that, a lot of people wouldn't want to do.
France gave me their highest medal, the Legion of Honor. you become a knight and you use the title sir. But nobody ever called me sir.
To thank him for his service, Brown had an idea: help him meet a player.
That would probably be a lifetime dream come true.
So he drew up this sign to hold up outside Paycor Stadium.
All we're wanting, it just for some of the guys to come see him.
Which is how we found him.
I've talked and wrote letters and everything. Never got no good feedback.
But he's not giving up hope.
We need to get Jamal Chase to sign your jersey.
Oh, sign my jersey.
Yeah.
Neither is Gordon.
Everybody's been real nice to me.
That's because you're a good man. A veteran is the largest family in the world. Whether it be a woman or a man, it's family. And we take care of them.
Gordon is still waiting to hear back from the Bengals and plans to keep himself busy with every Bengals update. Chris, what is your favorite sport? Because my favorite sports season is about to start.
Well, after this Cowboys season, it's definitely not football, but of all time, I have to say it's basketball.
Mine too. I cannot wait to see how the Mavs fare this year, but let's check with our sports anchor, Jordan Lindsay, to get our head in the game with all things sports.
Thanks, Kayla. We are going across the world in Abu Dhabi to see what the Mavs are doing for the preseason. We'll be back after the break.
Oh, hey, didn't see you there. Let's get started. This is a motor vehicle. This is the blinker mechanism. To use it, push it up for the right blinker and down to go left. You're welcome. It was easy.
Are blazing as they are now dominating the MLB playoffs. They are now up 2 games against the Baltimore Orioles. The Rangers outscored the Orioles 14-10 in those 2 games. The Rangers plan to continue their streak as they play their 3rd game against the Orioles tonight at 7 p.m. The Dallas Mavericks kicked off their NBA preseason game against the Minnesota Timberwolves in Abu Dhabi. Mavericks star guard Luka Doncic played the preseason with 18 points, 6 assists, and 5 rebounds. The newly acquired star Kyrie Irving was absent for that game with a left groin soreness. The Mavericks plan to make the season count despite coming up short of the playoffs in the season prior. The Intramural Football League is bringing UNT students closer to one another as they compete in numerous games. I had a chance to speak with 2 students who explained the impact of the Intramural Football League.
Intramural sports makes me feel good, makes me feel connected to my background, being in an organization. It's good for my mental health, to get to stay active, communicate with people, work as a team. Intramural sports is good.
Like skilled, there's beginners, there's pretty decent players as well. But the one important thing is we all come together and we all have a good time. It's a good icebreaker as well. You can meet new people. Make new friends, and also it's a good way to de-stress because college can be hard. So joining an intramural sport, joining any organization, and then playing like intramurals for them, is a good way to de-stress. Lay back, have fun, and just play ball. 50 seconds.
Join the Intramural Football League. Visit the UNT website at www.unt.edu for more information. That's all for sports. Now back to you at the desk.
Proud farmers brought themselves massive pumpkins weighing thousands of pounds to the World Championships pumpkin weigh-off in Half Moon Bay, California. Lena Howland spoke to some of the contenders before the winner was determined Monday morning.
In the self-proclaimed pumpkin capital of the world, Volkswagen-sized pumpkins are on display.
We picked it on Friday, and it's estimating around 2,300 pounds.
Growers of all ages from across the U.S. are in Half Moon Bay, hoping to take home a world title in the Safeway World Championship Pumpkin Weigh-Off. They're competing for not only bragging rights, but a ginormous payout, too, at $9 a pound.
It has to be a labor of love. I always said this, though. If I could not, there was no prize money involved.
I never made one dime back, anything like that, I would still do it. It's so much fun.
Nick Kennedy is here competing from the Sacramento area, and for him, it's a family affair.
My son's also here today. He grew a beautiful orange pumpkin. It's very much feels like a family. You know, you see these people a couple times a year, and it just feels like a bonding experience.
Backstage on Johnson Street, community members in disbelief got to see and touch the pumpkins for themselves.
You know, this is the most exciting part, going down Johnston Street, you know, because the stage is kind of far away, so you really can't see them, but it's great to see the efforts and the farmers, talk to the farmers.
Organizers say because of the size of the pumpkin being brought in by last year's winner, Travis Ginger, all the way from Minnesota, they were required to buy a new industrial scale. The new one can hold up to 5 tons.
I said, this thing's not going to weigh on a 4x4 scale. I said, it needs something bigger. I mean, the thing's 7'5" long by 6'7", so it's pretty big. But yeah, they had to buy a new scale for it.
As for Ginger, he's hoping to take care of some unfinished business. While he shattered the North American record last year, he's got his eyes on breaking the world record, which comes with a $30,000 grand prize. It's currently held by a man in Italy at 2,703 pounds.
This thing's been surprising. This thing's named Michael Jordan because it's 23 and the greatest basketball player of all time. So the only thing we got to figure out is it the greatest pumpkin of all times.
Travis Ginger ended up winning Monday morning after weighing at 2,749 pounds and breaking the world record. It's Granger's 3rd win, and again, he's taking home $30,000 in prize money.
Thanks for watching ntTV News at noon.
Join us again tonight at 6 and tomorrow at noon here at North Texas Television.